Let me tell you something they don't want to say out loud. No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not your boss, not your mentor. If you're waiting for someone to hand you the life you want, you're already behind. People talk about motivation like it's something you can buy off a shelf. They wait around for the perfect moment, the right mood, the magical feeling. Let me be real with you. There is no perfect moment. There is just you, your goals, and the pain you're going to have to walk through to get there. And yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to suck. You'll fail, you'll fall, you'll want to quit. And the worst part, most people won't care. They won't see the grind behind the scenes. They'll only show up when you win, and even then, some will hate you for it. So what? Keep going. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You don't need help. No one's coming. That's the first and most important lesson life tries to whisper to you, and most people spend their whole lives trying not to hear it. We grow up with this idea that someone somewhere is going to swoop in and help us out when things get hard. That help is on the way. That if we struggle long enough or suffer loud enough, someone will feel sorry for us, reach down, and pull us out. But that person isn't coming. That hand you're waiting for is yours. Self-reliance isn't optional. It's not a personality trait. It's not some quirky lifestyle brand you slap on a t-shirt. It's survival. It's evolution. It's about understanding that the longer you wait for help, the longer you're choosing to be stuck. And yes, I said choosing. Because once you know the truth that no one's coming, you either act or you sit in your own mess and pretend you didn't hear it. You can keep lying to yourself if it makes you feel better. But every day you wait for help, your fire gets a little colder. Your edge gets duller. And that dream you had, it starts to rot in the corner, waiting for someone else to pick it up. But no one does. Let's make something clear. People might care about you. They might even love you. But they've got their own chaos to deal with. No one can carry your weight for you. Not really. They can offer words, maybe a little push here and there, but if you're expecting someone to walk the path for you, good luck. Everyone's got their own demons. Everyone's trying to keep their own house from burning down. So if you're still sitting around waiting for some mentor or some opportunity, some magical rescue, you're not stuck, you're stalling. Look around. The people who rise, the ones who build something real, they all have one thing in common. They stop waiting. They stop begging for help. Stop whining about how unfair everything is and got to work. Because at some point you realize that the only person who's always with you from start to finish is you. So why wouldn't you invest in that? Why wouldn't you put everything you've got into becoming someone who can handle life without waiting for a lifeline? You don't have to be the smartest or the strongest or the most talented, but you do have to be the one who shows up every damn day. That's the tax for building something worthwhile. That's the entry fee. And nobody's waiving it. You pay in sweat, sacrifice, loneliness, and self-doubt. You pay by getting up when it would be easier to stay down. You pay by believing in yourself when there's no applause, no support, and no visible reward. And if you're lucky, you keep paying for the rest of your life. Because that's what growth is. It's never done. Self-reliance isn't about ego. It's not about pretending you don't need people ever. It's about knowing that you are the foundation. That when everything else falls apart, when everyone else bails, they've still got you. And that's more than enough if you've done the work, if you've trained your mind, if you've stopped lying to yourself and started putting in the reps day after day. Because life doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't hand out trophies for trying. It doesn't give you points for intention. You either build the life you want or you don't. And sure, you'll make mistakes. You'll screw up, fall short, get embarrassed. Good. That means you're doing something. That means you're out there bleeding and sweating and fighting for a better version of yourself. And the more you do that, the more you realize how much power you actually have. Not because someone handed it to you, but because you earned it, you built it. You fought for it while everyone else waited for someone to do it for them. So the next time you catch yourself hoping someone will come fix your situation, stop. Look in the mirror. That's the person you're waiting for. If that person doesn't start moving, nothing changes. You stay broke. You stay tired. You stay small. Not because you had to, but because you chose to. Self-reliance isn't pretty. It's not inspirational music and sunshine. It's cold mornings, hard choices, and long stretches of silence where you wonder if it's even worth it. But in that silence, you grow. You get sharp. You get focused. You become the kind of person who doesn't need saving because you already did that self. No one's going to do the work for you. No one's going to grind for you, cry for you, run the miles, eat the pain, face the mirror. That's your job. That's your gift. And it's also your burden. Doing it yourself isn't just about independence, it's about your relationship with pain, with struggle, with discomfort. Most people are running from discomfort like it's a disease. They avoid it, numb it, cover it up with distractions, hoping that if they can just stay comfortable long enough, somehow they'll stumble into the life they want. That's not how it works. Growth lives in discomfort. Strength lives in discomfort. Everything you're chasing, discipline, confidence, resilience, is all forged in the furnace of discomfort. So if you want something different for your life, you better stop running from hard things and start walking straight into them. Doing it yourself means embracing the suck. It means doing things that make you feel small and sure weak. It means voluntarily choosing to suffer, not because you're a masochist, but because you know that version of you on the other side of pain. That person is stronger, sharper, more dangerous. The comfort zone is a liar. It makes you feel safe, like you're in control, but it robs you of your edge. It dulls your instincts. It keeps you soft. And life has a way of testing you when you least expect it. If you've been living in comfort too long, you won't be ready when that test comes. Let's be honest, discomfort is a gift. Most people don't see it that way, but it is. It's the voice telling you you've still got something to work on. It's your body saying we can go further. It's your mind saying we're not there yet. You don't get better by doing what feels good. You get better by doing what's hard consistently. You get better by choosing the difficult path when the easy one is wide open and tempting. You get better by saying no to the shortcut and yes to the grind. Doing it yourself means showing up when it would be easy to tap out. It means waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It means going for a run when your legs are screaming. It means studying, building, grinding when nobody is watching. No validation, no applause, just you and the work. And if you want to go where most people won't, you have to live how most people don't. That means discomfort becomes your training ground. You don't avoid it, you seek it out. Because discomfort reveals who you are. When things get hard, your excuses come to the surface. Your weaknesses step into the light. That's not something to fear. That's something to face. You can't fix what you won't confront. Every time you lean into the discomfort, you get a little tougher. Every time you push when you want to quit, you build trust with yourself. That's how confidence is born. Not from hype, not from other people telling you you're great, but from keeping promises to yourself in the middle of the storm. You can read all the books, watch all the motivational videos, listen to all the podcasts, but if you're not living it, it's all noise. It doesn't matter what you know. It matters what you do. And what you do when it's hard. That's who you really are. That's where your identity is formed. When you do hard things over and over again, you start to believe that you're capable. That belief doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from easy wins. It comes from pain, from effort, from refusing to give up when your mind is begging you to. The problem is people think discomfort means something's wrong. They think struggle means they're failing. But what if it means you're exactly where you need to be? What if that feeling of resistance is actually proof that you're pro? Nobody ever got stronger without stress. You don't grow muscles by sitting on the couch. You grow them by lifting heavy weight, by pushing yourself to the point of breaking and then coming back stronger. Your mind works the same way. Your spirit works the same way. Every time you do something uncomfortable on purpose, you become more dangerous in the best way. You become harder to break. You build armor that can't be bought, only earned. And the best part, no one can take that from you. Comfort can be taken away. External motivation can disappear. But the toughness you build through discomfort, that's yours. That's permanent. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to do it consistently. One hard thing at a time. One choice at a time. Eventually, discomfort won't scare you anymore. It'll become familiar. It'll become your edge. And when other people crumble under pressure, you'll keep moving. Not because you're special, but because you trained for it. You conditioned your mind in the fire. And now that fire lives inside you. So if you're tired of waiting for a break, tired of feeling stuck, tired of being soft, look at your habits. Look at your relationship with pain. Are you leaning in or backing off? Are you seeking comfort or chasing growth? You don't get both. Choose wisely. Accountability is power. That's the truth most people avoid because it's heavy. It's uncomfortable. It puts the spotlight right back on you. But if you're serious about changing your life, really changing it, not just talking about it, then accountability is the doorway you have to walk through. It's not fun. It's not flashy. It's not easy, but it's real. If you can get honest with yourself, truly honest, you'll find out that the power to change your life has always been in your hands. Most people just don't want to admit it. It's easy to blame. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say, I'm like this because of what they did, or I can't succeed because of what I didn't have, or this situation is holding me back. But every time you blame something outside of yourself, you're giving it power. You're handing over control of your life to something or someone that doesn't care whether you succeed or not. You're saying, I'm not in charge here. And the moment you do that, you lose. Not because of the obstacle, but because you decided that the obstacle was bigger than you. Accountability flips the switch. It says, I don't care how I got here. I'm owning it. All of it. The pain, the failures, the choices, the bad habits, the missed opportunities, mine. Not because everything is your fault, but because ownership is where your freedom lives. If you caused it, you can change it. If you created it, you can destroy it. If you allowed it, you can stop it. That's not weakness. That's power. That's you taking your life back from the excuses you've been hiding behind. It's wild how people want control over their lives, but they don't want to take responsibility for what's wrong. They want the success without the sacrifice. They want the praise without the pressure. But real accountability doesn't work like that. It's not selective. You don't just take credit for the wins and ignore the losses. You take it all. Every part of your life is a reflection of your standards, your habits, your discipline or lack of it. If your life is a mess, own that. If you've let yourself go, if you stop trying, if you've been making excuses, own that. Not with shame, but with hunger, with the fire to do something about it. Because when you take responsibility, you stop waiting. You stop hoping that someone or something will come fix it for you. You realize it's on you. All of it. And yeah, that can feel overwhelming at first, but it's also liberating. Because now you know exactly where to look in the mirror. That's the person who's going to get you where you want to go. That's the person who's going to do the work. That's the person who's going to rise or fall based on the choices they make daily. Accountability is how you build trust with yourself. And trust is everything. Because when life gets hard in it, well, you need to believe that you can handle it. You need to know that you're not going to fold when it gets real. But you don't build that trust by talking about it. You build it by doing the work when no one's watching. By choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. By following through when it would be easier to quit. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you can count on you. But here's the thing, accountability isn't just about action. It's also about awareness. It's about being brutally honest about where you're falling short. Not to tear yourself down, but to get better. You can't fix what you won't admit. Most people walk around blind to their own patterns, their own toxic habits, because it's easier to pretend everything's fine. But nothing changes until you call yourself out. Until you face your own BS. Until you stop sugarcoating your failures and start using them as fuel. And when you truly commit to accountability, you stop worrying about what other people are doing. You stop blaming, stop comparing, stop waiting. You're too focused on your own lane. You're too busy building, improving, fixing what needs fixing. You become your own competition, your own coach, your own standard. And that's when everything shifts. Because now you're not just reacting to life, you're driving it. You're creating it. And you're doing it with intention, with discipline, with ownership. It doesn't mean you won't fall. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. You will. That's part of the game. But when you're accountable, those mistakes don't destroy you, they develop you. You don't run from failure, you learn from it. You don't let fear stop you, you use it to sharpen yourself. You become unstoppable not because you're perfect, but because you refuse to quit. You refuse to hide. You refuse to pass the blame. That's what accountability looks like. It's raw. It's real. And it's rare. But if you want to live a life that actually means something, if you want to be proud of the person you see in the mirror, then you have to own your story. All of it. Especially the parts you wish were different. Because once you take control of your story, no one can use it against you. Once you own your flaws, your pain, your past, nothing has power over you anymore. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants to, usually when everything feels good, when the weather is nice, when you've had enough sleep, and your problems are taking the day off. But the second things get hard, motivation disappears. It vanishes when you're tired, when you're stressed, when life punches you in the mouth. And if you're relying on motivation to build the life you want, you're going to lose. Not because you're not talented or smart or capable, but because you're leaning on something that's not built to last. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. And only one of them can carry you through hell and back. You don't need more hype. You don't need another quote on your wall or a playlist that makes you feel invincible for 5 minutes. What you need is consistency. You need routines. You need structure. You need habits that function with or without your mood. Discipline is showing up on the days when your feelings scream no. Discipline is the act of doing the thing because it needs to be done, not because it feels good, not because you're in the mood, but because your goals demand it. And the harsh truth is, if you only work when you feel like it, you'll never get far. Success doesn't care how you feel. Progress doesn't ask if you're tired. The work either gets done or it doesn't. Discipline is what separates people who dream from people who do. Dreamers stay in their heads. They talk a lot. They plan a lot. They get hyped. But when the emotion wears off, they go back to their comfort zones. The disciplined ones, they move in silence. They build in the dark. They don't need the adrenaline rush to take action. They move with purpose, not emotion. And that's the difference. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not Instagrammable. It's waking up early when no one sees it. It's putting in reps while others are scrolling. It's eating the clean meals, doing the extra work, making the boring choices, all for a result that no one will understand until they see it finished. And here's the thing. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's not a gift. It's built. It's forged. It's trained every single day. And just like a muscle, if you don't use it, it weakens. If you let excuses sneak in, if you start making exceptions just this once, you start slipping. Discipline dies one compromise at a time. You don't lose it all at once, you leak it. You water it down. And by the time you realize it, you've gone soft. That's why I think they're non-negotiable. You make a decision about the kind of person you want to be and you back it up with action every single day, especially when it's inconvenient. People think discipline is restrictive, but that's backwards. Discipline is freedom. Discipline gives you control over your time, your body, your future. It removes chaos. It kills doubt. When you've done the work, when you've built the habits, you walk differently. You carry yourself differently because you know you're not guessing. You know you can rely on yourself. That confidence can't be faked. You earn it in the hours no one sees. And when life gets hard, when everything around you starts falling apart, you'll still be standing because you're anchored by something real. Not a mood, not a quote, a lifestyle, a standard. You have to decide what kind of life you want and then accept what it's going to mean. That's where most people fall off. They want the body, but not the workouts. They want the business, but not the grind. They want the respect, but not the discipline it takes to show up day after day when no one claps, no one cares, and no one notices. But that's where greatness is built. In the unnoticed days, in the empty gyms, in the late nights and early mornings when you're the only one putting in work. That's where you find out what you're made of. And that's when discipline turns into identity. It stops being something you do, it becomes who you are. And once you cross that line, everything changes. You don't need to get motivated anymore. You just do the work. It's not emotional. It's automatic. It's built in. It's a switch you flip permanently. You can trust yourself to do the hard things because you've done them before. You've walked through pain. You've walked through fatigue. And you didn't fold. That's not something motivation can give you. That's discipline. That's earned. There will always be days when you don't want to do it. That's normal. That's human. But those are the days that matter most. That's where champions are built. Anyone can work when they feel like it. But if you can show up when every part of you wants to quit, you've already wanted to quit, because the world isn't run by the most talented or the most excited. It's run by the most disciplined, the ones who keep showing up, the ones who stay locked in, the ones who don't need a feeling to act, they just act. So stop chasing motivation. It'll lie to you. It'll leave you hanging. Start chasing discipline. Build it brick by brick. Earn your own respect. And when the world sees you shining, they'll call it talent. They'll call it luck. But you'll know the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner your life will start moving forward. There's no hero on the way. No mentor is going to drop into your life and pull you out of the mess. No perfect moment, no miracle. The world doesn't owe you a rescue, and it doesn't care how long you've been stuck. Waiting around for help, for permission, for the right time, it's all a trap. You've got to get it through your head. If something's going to change, it's going to be because you changed it. The world is full of people waiting for someone to notice them, waiting for someone to offer them a hand, waiting for someone to give them a shot. But while they wait, life keeps moving. Opportunities don't pause for anyone. Time doesn't care if you're not ready. It just keeps ticking. And every second you spend waiting is another second wasted. You think someone's going to come hand you a new life, that someone's going to see your potential and just fix everything. That's not how it works. You have to build that life yourself. You have to go after it with everything you've got. People love the idea of being saved because it lets them off the hook. If the solution is outside of you, then it's not your fault you're stuck. If the rescue depends on someone else, you don't have to take responsibility. You don't have to face the fact that maybe the reason you haven't moved forward yet is you. Your habits, your mindset, your choices, your excuses. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the most liberating truth in the world. Because if you're the problem, you're also the solution. If you're the reason things haven't changed, you're also the one who can change them. Nobody's coming to fix your finances. Nobody's coming to drag you to the gym. Nobody's coming to make you face your demons, confront your past, or clean up the damage you've caused. That's all on you. And yeah, it's heavy, but it's also empowering. Because once you accept that no one's coming, you stop looking around and you start looking inward. You start asking different questions. Not why won't someone help me, but what can I do today to help myself? Not when will things get easier, but how can I get stronger? When you stop expecting someone to do it for you, you start doing it yourself. You start waking up earlier. You start cutting out distractions. You start working on your weaknesses, facing your fears, showing up even when it's hard. You stop living in fantasy and start building reality. You start becoming the kind of person who can't be saved because you don't need saving anymore. Because you've learned how to handle your own problems. You've learned how to lead yourself. The truth is, most people don't change because they never get desperate enough. They never hit the point where the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of changing. But you don't have to wait for rock bottom to wake up. You don't have to wait for the disaster, the breakup, the breakdown, the diagnosis. You can decide now, right now, that enough is enough, that this version of you isn't going to cut it anymore. That the next level of your life requires a different version of you. One who doesn't flinch. One who doesn't wait. One who doesn't need rescuing because they've rescued themselves, one hard decision at a time. You have everything you need already inside you. You just haven't used it yet. You haven't been forced to dig deep because you keep hoping for the shortcut. But the longer you wait for help, the weaker you become. And you don't even realize it's happening. You think you're being patient, but you're actually becoming dependent. You think you're being wise, but you're avoiding responsibility. You think you're biding your time, but you're wasting your life. Stop waiting. If it's going to happen, it has to start with you. your work, your commitment, your refusal to give up when it gets hard. No one's going to show up and hold your hand through the process. No one's going to do the push-ups for you. No one's going to rewrite your story. You've got to own it. All of it. And when you do, everything changes. You go from victim to creator, from passenger to driver, from waiting for life to happen to making life happen on your terms. That shift doesn't require a miracle. It requires a mindset, a decision, a standard, a level of honesty with yourself that most people aren't willing to reach. But if you're willing to go there, if you're willing to face the hard truth, if you're willing to stop waiting and start working, there's nothing you can't overcome. Not because someone saved you, but because you saved yourself. And the best part, once you've done that, no one can ever take it from you. You'll never need to be rescued again because you went DML deep down that you can handle anything. You'll become your own hero. Excuses are the comfort food of failure. They taste good in the moment. They let you off the hook. They help you justify staying stuck. But when the lights go out and you're alone with your thoughts, excuses don't help you sleep better. They haunt you. They whisper all the things you could have done, should have done, would have done if only you hadn't let yourself off the hook. Excuses are lies dressed up as logic. They're the stories we tell ourselves to avoid facing the truth. They're the walls we build to protect our comfort zones. But here's the catch. The same walls that protect your comfort are the ones blocking your growth. We all make excuses as part of being human. The mind loves to avoid pain and seek ease. So it comes up with brilliant reasons why today isn't the day to start. Why you're too tired, too busy, too stressed, too old, too young. Why it's not your fault. Why it's not the right time. Why someone else has it easier. The list is endless. And if you're not careful, those excuses become your identity. You start believing them. You start living by them. And before you know it, you're not even trying anymore, you're just surviving. Every excuse you make costs you something. It costs you time, it costs you progress, it costs you pride. The truth is, nobody cares about your excuse. Life doesn't, the world doesn't, and results definitely don't. You either did the work or you didn't. You either showed up or you didn't. You either got better or you stayed the same. It's black and white. The scoreboard doesn't care why you lost. It just knows you did. And yeah, life is hard. Things happen. You'll face setbacks, unfair breaks, and obstacles that weren't your fault. But the second you use those things as a reason to quit or slow down, you've given your power away. Not to the problem, but to your own excuse. People talk about what they want: better health, more money, deeper relationships, fulfillment. But their actions are loaded with buts. When I want to get fit, but I don't have time. I want to start a business, but the economy's bad. When I wanted to improve my mindset, but I'm too busy. Everybody's a brick in the wall between you and who you want to be. And no one is going to tear that wall down for you. You have to smash through it yourself, one excuse at a time. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest. You don't need to do everything at once, but you do need to stop lying to yourself about why you're not doing anything at all. You have to catch yourself in the moment. The second your brain starts crafting a reason to avoid the hard thing, pause. Ask yourself, is this a real reason or a rehearsed excuse? Is this a fact or just a feeling I'm using to stay comfortable? And if you're brave enough to be honest, you'll realize that most of the time it's just fear in disguise. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change. And instead of facing that fear, we wrap it in a pretty little excuse and call it logic. But logic doesn't get you results. Action does. The people you look up to, the ones doing the things you wish you could do, they've made the same excuses you've made. The difference is they didn't stop there. They heard the excuse, recognized it for what it was, and chose to act anyway. That's what separates winners from wishers. Everyone's tired. Everyone's got problems. Everyone has reasons not to try. But discipline means showing up anyway. Progress means choosing action over avoidance. Greatness means refusing to be owned by your excuses. Because here's what no one tells you: your excuses aren't protecting you. They're trapping you. They're keeping you small. They're keeping you average. They're keeping you in a version of life that's safe, but unsatisfying. And you'll never feel fully alive as long as you're letting excuses make your decisions for you. Deep down, you know what needs to be done. You know what's holding you back. It's not lack of opportunity. It's not bad luck. It's not other people. It's the moment you say, I can, instead of asking, how can I? This doesn't mean you have to go full throttle 24/7. It doesn't mean you never rest. It means you stop hiding behind excuses that sound smart but keep you stuck. It means you take responsibility for your time, your energy, your choices. It means you stop blaming circumstances and start building discipline. You want different results. Make different decisions. Show up differently. Stop trying to find the perfect conditions. They don't exist. All that exists is right now. And every excuse you make today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. The truth is, most of the time, you're capable of way more than you think. But you'll never find out what you're made of as long as you keep giving yourself a way out. Burn the backup plans. Drop the I'll try. Replace I can't with I will. Start owning your life like it's the only one you've got, because it is. And the moment you stop making excuses is the moment everything starts to shift. You won't need to wait for motivation. You won't need someone to push you. You'll be driven from within because now you're no longer negotiating with your potential. You're demanding more from yourself. That's how change happens. That's how transformation begins. No more excuses, just action, just results, just growth. The truth is, the world doesn't owe you anything. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the reality that will set you free once you accept it. We live in a culture that's obsessed with the idea of entitlement. The belief that if you've worked hard enough, if you've suffered enough, or if you've been through enough struggle, the world will eventually give you what you deserve. But that's not how life works. No one is going to hand you success on a silver platter, and no one is going to throw a parade for your hard work. Life doesn't care if you've been trying for years or if you feel like you deserve something. It's not about what you're owed, it's about what you earn. There's a misconception that just because you've put in time or effort, you should automatically receive rewards or recognition. But life doesn't operate on the principle of fairness. It doesn't stop for you to catch your breath or adjust to the obstacles it throws in your path. There's no cosmic rulebook that guarantees you a smooth journey because you've paid your dues. The world owes you nothing, and that's the starting point for everything you want to accomplish. When you accept that truth, you stop looking for validation from others. You stop waiting for someone to hand you what you think you deserve. You stop waiting for permission to go after what you want. Instead, you start taking ownership of your own success. You stop blaming others for where you are, and you start taking responsibility for the choices that got you here. That doesn't mean you should take all the blame for the bad things that happened to you. It means that you stop using them as excuses to stay stuck. The world doesn't owe you an explanation for why things didn't go your way, and it certainly doesn't owe you a second chance. But what it does give you every single day is the opportunity to show up, work hard, and create the life you want for yourself. Once you accept that life owes you nothing, you stop feeling entitled to anything. And when you stop feeling entitled, you start to realize that you're free to create whatever you want. You can stop playing the victim, stop waiting for someone to rescue you, and start taking the steps to move forward. You can stop wishing for better circumstances and start making better decisions. It's no longer about what you deserve, it's about what you're willing to work for. And the best part is no one can take that away from you. This realization can be incredibly freeing, even though it may initially feel like a punch in the gut. It means that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to give you permission to go after your dreams, to build your success, or to create the life you want. That's on you. It's your responsibility. And while that may feel heavy at first, it also gives you the power to shape your own destiny. It's no longer up to luck or chance. It's no longer about waiting for someone to notice your potential and hand you an opportunity. It's about you taking ownership of your life and creating the future you want, regardless of what anyone else thinks or does. If you're waiting for the world to give you what you think you deserve, you're wasting your time. The world isn't going to give you anything. It's going to challenge you, test you, and throw you curveballs. But if you're willing to work for it, if you're willing to show up every day and keep going even when it feels like no one is paying attention, then eventually you'll start to see the rewards of your efforts. The world doesn't owe you anything, but it does reward hard work, perseverance, and resilience. It rewards those who refuse to give up, who keep pushing when everyone else quits. The truth is, you can't control what the world gives you, but you can control what you put into it. You can control how hard you work, how much effort you put in, and how committed you are to your own success. No one can take that from you. No one can stop you from showing up every day, putting in the work, and taking responsibility for your life. That's where your power lies. And once you stop waiting for someone to hand you what you think you're owed, you'll realize that the only thing standing between you and your goals is the amount of work you're willing to put in. So stop waiting. Stop asking for permission. Stop complaining about the things that aren't fair. Life doesn't owe you anything, but it does give you everything you need to create what you want. You have the power to change your circumstances, to rewrite your story, and to build a life that reflects your effort, your determination, and your commitment. The world won't give you what you deserve, but it will give you exactly what you earn. And that's more than enough. If you're waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, or the right person to make things happen for you, you're wasting your time. The right time is now. The right opportunity is what you make of it. The right person is you. And once you realize that, once you stop waiting for something outside of yourself to change, you'll find that the world starts responding to you in ways you never imagined. No one is coming to save you, but you don't need saving. You have everything you need to succeed inside of you. It's time to stop waiting and start creating. It's time to take control of your life and build the future you deserve, because in the end, the world doesn't owe you anything, but it will give you everything you're willing to work for. Success is not a product of luck. It's not a result of some random series of events that just happen to fall into place for some people. Success is the outcome of choices. It's a reflection of your habits, your mindset, and your willingness to stay the course even when it's not easy. The world has a way of convincing us that success comes to those with the right circumstances, the right timing, or the right connections. But that's a lie. The truth is that success is earned, not given. It's not about waiting for things to align perfectly. It's about making consistent, intentional decisions that move you toward your goals regardless of the circumstances. We often hear about the people who seem to have lucked into success. We look at them and think they must have had something I didn't. But when we do that, we miss the bigger picture. What we fail to see is the years of hard work, the sacrifices, the relentless pursuit of growth, and the failures that those people went through before they found success. We see the finish line, but forget about the marathon. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of waking up every day, putting in the work, and refusing to quit when things get tough. It's about building momentum one small decision at a time, knowing that each step forward is a step closer to your goal. One of the most dangerous lies we believe is that success is a product of natural talent or external circumstances. We tell ourselves, if I was born into the right family, had the right education, or lived in the right place, I could make it too. But success isn't determined by where you start. It's determined by where you're willing to go. Sure, certain circumstances may give you a head start, but at the end of the day, it's your ability to put in the work, adapt to challenges, and keep going even when everything seems stacked against you that determines whether you'll succeed. The most successful people aren't the ones with the easiest path, they're the ones who chose to keep moving forward, even when it would have been easier to quit. The path to success is rarely linear. It's not a straight line from where you are to where you want to be. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and moments of doubt along the way. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that the successful ones never experience failure. It's that they keep going despite it. Every failure is just another lesson, another opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. And if you let failure define you, you'll never get anywhere. Failure is not the end of the road. It's just part of the process. The real failure isn't giving up. Success requires grit. It requires an unwavering belief in your ability to keep moving forward, no matter how many obstacles come your way. It's about waking up every day with the same focus, the same determination, and the same hunger for progress, even when the world seems to be telling you that you'll never make it. It's about ignoring the doubt, the criticism, and the setbacks that try to pull you off course and staying laser focused on your end goal. Success isn't for the faint of heart. It's for those who are willing to endure the pain, the struggle, and the challenges, knowing that each of those moments is a step towards something greater. The hardest part about success is that it doesn't always look the way you expect. It doesn't come with a clear blueprint or a set of instructions. What works for one person might not work for you. But if you're willing to put in the work, try new things, and adapt along the way, you'll find your path. The key is to keep moving. Keep learning, keep improving. And if you fall, get up and try again. Because success doesn't belong to the person with the best ideas or the most talent. It belongs to the person who refuses to quit. There will be days when it feels like everything is working against you. When the odds seem too great, when the road seems too long, and when you feel like you can't go on. But those are the moments that define you. The moments when you push through the hardest parts are the moments that will make success worth it. Success isn't the result of doing everything right. It's the result of doing the best you can, even when things aren't perfect. It's about persevering, about refusing to back down when everyone else would have given up. The world won't hand you success on a silver platter. You have to go after it one step at a time, no matter how many setbacks you face. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved great success and think they have it all figured out. But what you don't see is the years of hard work that went into it. What you don't see is the grind, the sacrifices, the missed opportunities, and the failures that they had to overcome. Success isn't about finding the right opportunity. It's about creating it. It's about seizing the moment when it comes, but also about preparing yourself for that moment long before it arrives. It's about knowing that if you want something badly enough, you'll do whatever it takes to get it, even if it means starting from scratch, learning new skills, or facing fears you never thought you could face. The truth is that success is available to anyone who's willing to put in the work, no matter their starting point, no matter their circumstances. It's not about luck. It's about persistence. It's about learning, growing, and showing up every single day. Success isn't something that happens to you. It's something that you create. It's about making the decision to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. It's about understanding that the journey may be long and difficult, but the reward is always worth the effort. And in the end, the only thing standing between you and success is your willingness to keep going when everything else is telling you to stop.